Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you some interesting bits in real sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long or so podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we've got some football news to get to, some Emmy Award-winning news to get to as well, and, of course, odd news to wrap up the show. But before we get into all of those segments, Mikey, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good. I recently wrapped up Alan Wake 2, finally. The stress and anxiety is over.
I finished Alan Wake 1,
Yeah,
and now you finish Alan Wake 2.
Now we'll swap. I do
Yes.
Alan Wake, and you do Alan Wake 2. No, it's a great game. Remedy is just a fantastic developer.
Yep.
I fell in love with their stuff with Control, and now I'm like exploring some of their other games. I love the universe they're creating, and I won't say too much because I know you want to play it. I know you're invested in the universe.
Yep.
But they're definitely, you can see the threads being pulled through the different properties. The game is so stressful to me. Like
Yeah.
the dark atmosphere, only being able to see like where your flashlight is pointing and just like hearing like the noises and the scarce resources. Like for whatever reason, games like that always immediately put me on edge. Like,
Yeah.
and it's designed to do so, but like
Yeah,
I
you're
really am affected by that.
Yeah, you're not a big horror survival fan.
Not really. Like I've played the like games like Until Dawn and I
Last of Us?
barely count The Last of Us, but that also has that like that stress factor. I feel like my heart beating, pounding. But I made it through all of Alan Wake 2, despite that.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic ride.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
So here's my thing. When I was playing Alan Wake 1, I had to play in the basement, and I had to turn all the lights off.
The opposite for me. The opposite. Like literally, I can only play middle of the day on like a Sunday, with the Lord watching over me.
Nice, easy going Sunday.
Nice, easy going. Yeah, I got my bowl of popcorn. The lights are on. I got because the basement's cold. I got a blanket. I'm good to go. Not really the dark room vibe for me. It's
Okay.
No.
Very well.
Two different ways. Two different minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Good stuff.
Quick review there from Mikey on Alan Wake 2.
But what have you been up to?
Well, the only thing I can think of is really just football. We got to get to it, and it's one of those things where
once the football season starts, you are 100% football. Like you put blinders up, you're like the rest of the world is just dead to you.
I mean, unless
football.
the Phillies make a postseason run,
which they will.
Which they should. Yeah, they should this year. Like it is like all football all the time.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into it because I don't. It's like one of those things like. I need. Remember a couple weeks ago we said like this show is like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I need therapy today.
Well, should we start the session then?
Yes, let's start the session. Let's start with the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
That's right. Sports coming at you in your face.
Yes,
but
welcome to therapy.
Yes.
Take a seat.
But this is some much-needed therapy because something did come right in our faces in this game, and that was a sudden comeback from Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons to steal a win on Monday Night Football to just destroy any positivity that the Eagles had this season.
Oh no! We suck again.
I want to dive right into this Eagles game. We gotta just tackle it head on because the Eagles didn't do that.
Right. Not like the Eagles defense.
Yes.
Man, it's getting so frustrating when you see the win probability chart and it's just Eagles, Falcons.
Yeah.
And how many times did we see that last year?
It was the seventh most unlikeliest victory according to...
What were the other 6? All Eagles?
Well, one of them was the Super Bowl victory that the Falcons lost, so they still own that one.
Okay.
But it's not good to be on that board.
No. I mean, where do you want to even begin dissecting this? There's so many different things. I mean, let's start with, were there any positives for you? before we
You
get
know-
into the negatives.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been hearing a lot of sports talk and commentators saying Jalen Hurts. He actually had a pretty good game for most of this, from like the second quarter to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He was actually commandeering the offense pretty well.
Yeah, other than his one big mistake there at the end.
Yeah. And he
with the
took a little bit of
interception.
time in the first quarter to get going.
Yeah, so we still have the slow start. He's forcing some throws, but I think he was a little calmer in the pocket.
Yeah.
He stepped up a couple times. He didn't make the same egregious mistakes that he did in week 1.
Yeah.
So it shows a positive trend there. He didn't set the world on fire statistically, but you don't necessarily have to all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, like I will give him a passing grade there.
Yes.
I agree as well. And that's it, I think.
Yeah.
No,
Because
there's nothing else.
Well, here, all right. Here, where does the blame fall? That's what everyone is trying to divvy up here. That's like the hot button issue.
I'm the worst person to ask this question of because I'm always the person that's like everybody shares a slice of the blame pie. I have a feeling that you're itching to get to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
It's Sirianni. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's Sirianni and the play calling. I forget who said this quote, but somebody said, in baseball, to win games, you have to bring in the best players. In football, to win games, you have to bring in the best players, the best coaches, and the right play calling.
Yeah.
The Eagles for the last couple seasons have had the best players,
Yeah.
pretty good coaching,
Yeah.
but the play calling has just not worked.
It's been too cute.
It is
Too cute.
It's been costing us games.
Yeah.
This constant over analyzing and inconsistent whether or not they're going to be aggressive or not aggressive. What do you do? Oh, do you get intimidated by what the Falcons want from you on the other side of the field? Like it's just like it feels like it's all in their head, and they get too cute and they get too like just focus on the main strategy. That call on third down to make it a pass play. I don't care what you say about the fact that Saquon caught it or not, he dropped it, whatever. The fact is your number one concern on that third down is to run down clock. It is not to score.
Yeah.
In that game time situation, the number one objective should be to waste time on the clock.
Yep.
And it wasn't. And they called a pass play for it. And that just it just bothers me so much.
Yeah.
And it had to have been it had to have been Sirianni. That sounded like a Sirianni call.
So
that like, no, I want to win it right now.
I'll do you one better when it comes to coaching and strategy. Because I've been saying since last season when everybody wanted Brian Johnson's head, I said I don't think it's fully Brian Johnson. Remember I said that.
Yes,
I was calling for Nick Sirianni. I'll go one further though because it's not just that one bad play call. It's situational awareness for the whole team, and that is a coaching thing. So when we talk about situational awareness, there's that play, right? Where, like, if I'm the quarterback, I'm like, I don't know if I want to air this out right now, right? Like, let's keep it on the ground. Let's audible to a run. Anything. It's 3rd and 3. We've been getting a solid 4-3, yards a play, right?
Just fall forward.
Right. Another example, though, of situational awareness, the last drive. Why is Hurts taking a shot downfield to Devontae Smith when all you need is 10 yards to kick a field goal?
Yeah, like 10 or 15 yards.
10 or 15 yards.
Or actually, they had a touchdown. It could have been just like a 6-7 yard gain. You call a timeout.
Yeah.
I say touchdown, timeout.
Timeout. Yeah, they had a timeout. So
I'm
you
so
don't
frustrated. I don't even know what
you
I'm saying right
You
now.
don't need to throw it downfield. So situational awareness. Again, another example. There were 2 penalties for ineligible man downfield. Again,
Yeah.
situational awareness.
Yeah,
they're running
another one.
They're
Yeah,
running
you're right.
They're running an RPO. You got to get that ball out fast because your linemen they don't care whether it's a pass or a run. They're gonna attack the defenders for whichever one it is.
You're right.
So what I'm seeing here is a trend where I don't know if it's a player discipline issue. I don't know if it's a strategy issue, but it all comes back to coaching.
Yes, and I
Because we have talented players. I don't think there's any debate that we have the talent, but something is not putting those pieces in the right spots.
Yes, and that falls on coaching. And I'm getting to the point now I can't defend Sirianni. You know,
It's getting very hard to find positives with him.
that seat he's on is going to get
It's getting toasty.
very toasty very fast.
I know that's probably comfortable getting that we're getting into sweater weather and pumpkin season, but I don't like toasty seats in football.
No. So to me, the blame game should really go on the coaching staff.
But can I give a slice of blame pie to some other people, though?
Yes.
Because why the hell did we jettison Hassan Reddick to New York, then
Well-
bring in Bryce Huff, hold on, for him to have 0 tackles in 2 games for $50 million?
Well, no.
And not just him, but our best
'Cause-
defensive lineman
'cause-
is 36-year-old Brandon Graham.
Because Hassan Reddick demands $80 million or $90 million or something ridiculous. That's why.
But the point stands, though, that our best defensive lineman is 36-year-old, 15-year vet Brandon Graham, who has looked winded for 2 years straight.
yeah, legacy player.
Yeah. Or how about one of the best linebackers we had was some random guy we picked up in a Wawa parking lot. What was his name? Booker? Something?
Yes.
Remember him?
Yep.
He had some key stops. Where is this vaunted defensive line?
What happened to the Georgia Bulldogs we drafted?
There's
what
like
happened to that?
4 of them starting on that defense, and they're just
Yeah.
non-existent.
That just haven't been developed. I don't know.
Yeah, you have Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
3 of those guys were first-rounders
They and champions.
and 2-time champions
Yeah.
for that defense.
Yeah. Where are they?
Last year, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis got off to hot starts. This year, they have been completely ineffective,
Yes.
non-existent.
36-year-old Kirk Cousins only had 1 sack. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
A
You gotta get it-
statue of a quarterback.
You got to get a pass rush on him. Yes.
So I got to give a big heaping helping of blame pie to the defensive line and Vic Fangio in general. Nothing pisses me off more than prevent defense.
Yeah. Please stop that.
And people can say what they want to about that final play call of the Eagles, but God, they had no timeouts, Rich.
Yep. And they drove
They
down
had
the
no,
field.
and they did it in like 50 seconds
Yep.
because we got the ball back with 30-some seconds and timeouts.
Yep.
Like, it's the speed of the collapse was jarring.
Yes.
Like, whatever you do on offense, that's fine, but defense, they did keep them in the game for the most part, but then all of a sudden, it
all fell apart.
all
Yep.
fell apart. And, like, but again, that does go back to coaching as well, but it goes back to the other side, Vic Fangio and his scheme of not letting any big plays up. Okay, don't let the big 25-yard completion up. We'll just give a 24-yard completion.
Yeah, that's not a big
like,
play.
The logic just breaks down. It's like this cyclical like nonsense. You know, prevent the big play. As long as there's no plays over 20. Okay, well, here's 17. Here's 18. Here's 13. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, let me get to the main question that a lot of sports shows have been doing today.
Okay.
Is
Yes,
it
to whatever the question is?
Is
I
it
agree.
panic time? Is
Oh,
it,
yeah,
is
absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
full-blown panic?
Because this is going to sound weird, but consider world history. There are revisionist historians that say that World War I and World War II are not separate conflicts. They are one conflict with a brief period of non-combat in the middle. And last season and this season are the same thing. We are fighting a long conflict with ourselves where we don't know, because these are the same exact problems from last year. Nothing has changed. They brought in better coaches, better players. They said, we got to take accountability. We got to work harder. But it's the same exact problems. So, yes, my hand is hovering right now because, like, last year ended, we're like,
Are you pressing the button? It sounds like you're pressing the panic button.
I think I'm going to stay my hand for another week or two. But it's definitely like,
I don't know. What you sounded very alarmist over there.
well, what do you think? Can you temper my
Yes.
my alarm?
Yes.
Do you really think there's a way to fix it though?
There's all right. Here, all right. Let's talk you off of the ledge
Because
here.
we had half a season, new coaches and new schemes to fix it,
Let's
and a
talk,
whole off season.
let's talk you off the ledge here just for a second. There is a big thing to remember here.
jump.
We this is only week 2.
That's true.
There are still 15 games left.
15 potential losses. No,
We're
I'm
not
kidding.
the Panthers, yeah, which we're going to get to in a moment. But there's time. There's time to fix this. All right. We're only 2 games into the season.
That's why the hand is hovering.
Okay. Also, our division is also horrible. I feel like this is going to be an NFC least season.
But I don't want to stumble backwards in the playoffs at 9-8. That's my least favorite thing. Like, you go 13 wins or you go 3 wins. I don't. There's nothing in between for me. I know
that's
that's
not going to happen.
I know.
No, but the Giants that are just atrocious on defense. They're letting
their
anybody.
Kicker's injured now too,
And their kicker's
like
injured.
He's done.
Washington can't punch touchdowns in.
No.
And Dallas is overrated and overhyped. They can't stop the run.
Dallas might have an even better roster than we do, but they have just as many, if not more, problems.
Yes.
Unbelievably.
So it's looking like an NFC least year.
Yeah.
So I think.
But is that the way you want to win?
Well, look, the first concern is you got to win the division. All right. That's not, when you get down to bare bones, like, how do you have a successful season? Number one is you got to handle your division first. It's so much harder to make a run in the postseason if you're a wild card.
Yeah.
That having that first home game in the playoffs is crucial.
It is.
So that's your number one goal. You got to win the division first. Look, you know what? This is a good transition too with other teams. Last week I really thought the Dolphins were going to turn the corner.
They did not.
And they did not. And they know, those fans know, it's going to come back and bite them because having that loss, unless they somehow have a miraculous second half of the season, they're going to be playing from the wild card position.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to travel, and they're probably going to have to lose because they don't travel well. The Miami Dolphins are not.
They play in the southernmost point in the U.S., and it's tropical all year round. They don't like going to Green Bay.
They had to go to Kansas City in -4 degrees for their first game, and they got knocked out.
Yeah, they can't do that.
So this matters.
Yes, it does.
So when it comes down to success, you want to win the division, and I think that is something to look forward to, that this is not a highly competitive. It does not seem to me like it's going to be a highly competitive division.
But my question is this. I'm following your logic, but the issue I have with it is, if you truly believe Nick Sirianni and the coaching is that fallible, then, I mean, like, winning the division on the back of just sheer athletic talent with no coaching, no strategy underneath it, that's a hollow division victory. We're just going to get bounced in the very first game. Like, for who, for what?
Depends.
You think?
It depends on the team you draw and how do you end a season, you know?
So
it
sounds like you're nowhere near the panic button. I feel like this is a role reversal.
Look, I am worried.
Okay.
I don't
how close in terms of inches?
I'm like, my hand is over in my still general area.
Oh, so you're not even extending?
No, because we are early in the season.
I'm extending. I'm like,
I think you're the one. Yeah, you need to take a breath or something.
I don't look personally. I don't know how people watched that game and weren't.
It was a frustrating game.
Yeah,
it stung. I did not feel good.
No, I still don't. I'm still annoyed.
Yeah, I had to literally go play Baldur's Gate and do something else. I couldn't go right to bed after that game.
We're just like, I'm starting a new playthrough as an evil character, just so I can kill something.
Yes. So I felt the pain just as much as everybody else did.
Yeah.
But I had you gotta look back and think about, this is game 2. We got 15 games left.
That's what's so stressful for me. Because these coaching things have been an issue for, hold on, let me count, 19 straight regular season games. But now, week 3 of year 5, this is the moment.
I'm not going to say there's a specific moment, but I think there is time to improve, get better, and hopefully get our way to an NFC's division title.
NFL, not for long.
All right.
Time's running out.
Well, speaking of time running out, I really want to talk about the quarterback news here.
Oh, yeah. 2 big quarterback stories.
Since I mentioned the Dolphins, let's bring up the Dolphins. Tua gets hurt.
Yeah. Not just hurt, though. One of probably the worst injury scenarios, specific scenarios, where Tua runs headfirst into the chest of Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Remember the guy who had a heart attack from getting hit in the chest. So, the guy who has concussions, the guy who has heart attacks,
They
both
all collide.
hitting each other with the parts that are most vulnerable. Well, unfortunately, Tua did suffer his third concussion in 2 years, 4 in the last 5 going back to college. The Dolphins have officially placed him on IR, which means he will have to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. I just want to take a moment, like football aside, this is one of those moments where if I'm Tua, you have to seriously consider whether you want to get back out there on that field.
Yeah.
I mean, 4
that's
concussions in 5 years.
That's been the talking point of this is should Tua come back? From what we've been hearing from ESPN and the news outlets, they said Tua is going to work on coming back and playing. But is that correct? Should somebody step in and save him? I don't know.
I don't know if it's anybody's decision but Tua's.
Right.
I mean, he's getting. It sounds callous, but he's getting paid to do a job. If he wants to do it because he enjoys doing it, it's really hard for somebody to grab him and hold him back. If he wants to be out there, you can't physically stop him.
Yeah.
Now, I think that maybe the coaches and the players should have a sit down and be like, listen, obviously your health comes first. Like whatever your decision is, we'll stand behind it, but make it clear to him that you don't have to if you feel that you can't or don't want to.
Yeah. And I think the head coach, he said in a press conference that the only thing he told Tua after the injury was, you're the starting quarterback of your family.
Yeah.
Like start there and then work your way.
Right. There's more, and that's a great way to put it. There's more important teams that he's a part of.
Yeah.
Than the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. But from what ESPN has been digging up, they're saying he's gonna be gung ho. He's gonna come back. He wants to play. He wants to be the starting quarterback, and he wants to fulfill that contract.
One thing you can't deny is that he's a competitor. He charged head first into a safety to make yards.
He should have slid.
He should have. They
got to work on his sliding.
Yeah. But he is a competitor, and I mean, he strikes me as the type of person who would want to come back.
Yeah.
As much as I personally disagree, that's not my call to make. But
yep. So
it's
Tua,
tough.
though, he's going to be out for the next 4 weeks at least.
So let's get back to football, though. In terms of the Dolphins in that division, I mean, they're very close to being out of it with this, right? Because minimum 4 weeks, but that doesn't mean he's going to come back immediately after the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It could linger 5, 6.
They should be on the phone to Ryan Tannehill right now.
Right now, yeah.
They should. Hey, remember us?
Right. But
hey, you up?
in that division with the Bills they still got something left in the tank.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult to win that division.
Unless the Jets really turn the heat on and Aaron Rodgers really starts to look like prime Aaron Rodgers, it looks like the Bills are going to go back into winning that division.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Including a big Thursday night game this week with Patriots at Jets. Very interesting matchup there. Another big injury, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy, a lot of fantasy teams got destroyed with that news.
Yep. He is on IR, out again, a minimum of 4 weeks.
This was a lot of people with the number 1 overall pick.
Listen, I know that he's had a little honeymoon there in San Francisco the past few years, but this was always the knock against him in Carolina.
Yep, in
And
Carolina.
people forget that he was considered injury prone.
Yep.
Well,
there you go.
he's not getting younger.
Nope.
With the amount of carries he gets, I'm just saying.
Yep. And is it him or is it the loaded offense? Because his replacement came in and put up similar numbers.
Yeah.
He put up 110 rushing yards in the first game. He put up, I think, 80 in the second. So
They're just a very, very lucky team to have so many good
so much
players.
depth.
Yeah.
They have so much depth.
Yeah.
And with the quarterback,
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, thank you.
On a rookie deal.
With him on a rookie, that's like a cheat code. It's a cheat code.
What they have done, it is essential for people to understand. What they have done is only possible, quite literally only possible because Brock Purdy is getting paid basically in
Nothing.
cheeseburgers.
Yes, he's getting
The-
cheeseburgers.
Like he was the last drafted player. I think his salary is like maybe a couple $100,000. Like
Yeah.
I don't even think it's like $1 million.
no, doesn't crack $1 million.
And
Nope.
and like that is that's like unbelievable in football terms. Like Jalen Hurts is getting paid 10 times as much as he is. No,
Yeah.
more than that. I think he's
More.
getting paid because I think Jalen Hurts is what, $50 million a year. I think
I forget his year. I forget his yearly.
it's a lot.
average.
More.
It's a lot.
It's a lot more.
Yes. So, yeah, big news on that front, destroying a lot of fantasy teams. Sorry if you were one of the ones that were affected. But then one more thing I want to mention, and that's Christian McCaffrey's former team, the Carolina Panthers.
Oh boy.
Well, you know what? Look, I know the Eagles don't look good right now, you know, but
At least
wow,
At least they're not the Panthers, right?
the Panthers. This could be the beginning of an 0-17 campaign.
Here's hoping. I love seeing that.
They do not look good on all facets of the ball, but most particularly Bryce Young, their star-studded #1 overall draft pick that they traded so much to get 2 years ago, and he just looks lost in the last 2 games. And the coaching staff decided that they are going to bench him only after 2 games this season. And instead, 36-year-old Andy Dalton is going to start for the Panthers in week 3.
Well, you got to do something because right now
Oh my God, Mike, no.
listen.
No.
I just looked it up. The Panthers have been outscored 73-13 in the first 2 games. They got to do something.
What's the plan?
There is
Tell
no
me
plan. There is no plan. The plan is analytics says it's better to tank the season and start over. They're going to go Arizona Cardinals. They're going to select another top 10 quarterback.
No, you can't. You
have to.
You can't.
You have to.
No. Look at this.
There is no plan. I don't know what to tell you. There's no plan.
Look,
I wish I could tell you there was one, but they don't like playing football in Carolina.
apparently,
It's
yeah.
not a football town.
That's probably it. I need to review. We all need to review what the Panthers gave up to get Bryce Young. All right, they lost 2023 first round pick, 2023 second round pick, 2024 first round pick, which ended up being the #1 overall pick again.
Yeah.
And they still have to pay them a second round pick in this upcoming draft. And they lost DJ Moore.
I mean, that was a lot. But listen,
You are
can't-
going to just put him on the sideline even
You
before
can't-
the last pick of the trade is done?
You can't succumb to the sunk cost fallacy. If they really believe that he is done, then dump him and move on. The worst thing
No.
they can do.
You cannot believe he's done already after 2 years.
Look,
how many games has he been?
listen,
16 games?
There's two ways of looking at this. There's the one way where the coaches, the scouting, the GM, they're looking at him, they're saying, we missed, we know that he's not the guy, and they swap him out. The other way of looking at it is that Carolina is so bad all around him that we're not getting a good glimpse of his ability, right? So, like, which line of thinking are you following?
No, I'm trying to think of if you're trying to grow this guy.
There's
into-
nothing to grow though. No, I mean, no, like name another player on Carolina's team. Just one.
Miles Sanders.
No, I thought he was with
He
with
was?
Chicago.
No. No. The guy last year that was on
The guy last year.
yeah, DeAndre
Swift. Oh, Swift is
on.
Oh, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders
Oh,
is
yeah.
on the Panthers.
Miles Sanders was never that good.
Look, okay, what I don't understand how you're trying, like Bryce Young in that second game. I watched clips of him messing up, and it happens.
Yeah.
But he walks off the field. He looks like he's going to cry. And at first, I started laughing. But then I realized, like, oh, my God. Like,
It's a lose-lose situation.
But how are you going to improve his confidence by benching him for a 36-year-old Andy Dalton who what's he going to do? Win 2 or 3 games, and then what do you do?
I think
There's
you're still looking at this from the perspective that Carolina is a real football team. You gotta listen, Rich. Listen, buddy. You gotta stop thinking that they're in this to win it. Like, as soon as they did what they did to draft Bryce Young, when everybody, who was the other guy that was at the top of the draft that year?
C.J. Stroud.
Everybody was like, C.J. Stroud's the guy. Carolina's like, nope. We definitely got the guy. Nobody agreed with them. Nobody.
Oh, my God.
They were one out of 32 teams that were like, that's the best quarterback. Everybody else was like, okay.
Oh my
They
God.
are not actually in it to win it. So once we accept that fact, then we look at the Bryce Young decision through a different lens, and it's the lens of, do the GMs, coaches, players, talent evaluators, did they realize that he's not good, or is he actually good but he can't perform with the team that they've surrounded him with? But in both of those cases, it doesn't matter because it's a lose-lose. Like, there's no path forward.
I think the path forward though is you got at least let him get out there and
Stick
get
with
more
him?
reps. Like, you want him to get more experience and learn, like, benching him.
I mean, hypothetically, yes.
What is going to be the conditions to bring him back into a starting quarterback position?
There are none. No, I'm serious. Like, no, because here's the thing. I agree with you. There is no plan. The plan is faulty because they put themselves into a lose-lose situation. Because you bring him back in, there's no talent around him. He continues to suffer and struggle. The coaching is bad. The talent evaluators are bad. There's just no path forward for him to grow as a quarterback. You keep him benched, there's also no path forward for him to grow as a quarterback. You keep him benched, you don't try to trade him or you do something with him. Like, there's no path forward. They put themselves into a corner and they have no solution.
All right.
That's why they're not in it to win it, because you don't make these decisions if you actually have a desire to win or, like, some kind of logic behind your operation.
At this rate, trade Bryce Young to the Dolphins. At least let him get a shot over with Miami.
I mean, honestly, if you're not going to use the guy, why let him sit on the roster and cost all that money? I know it sucks, but, like, clearly Carolina's not the right place for him. Whether through his own talent or the lack of talent on Carolina's team.
Look, the Eagles may have had a very tough loss and everything looks bad, but wow, the Panthers are just so bad that we disagree on how bad they are.
Yeah, like, we both agree that they're bad, but when a team is so bad that you can fault them for being bad in so many different unique ways.
Yes, that's correct.
That's truly, truly bad.
All right. Well,
let's talk about some good teams, though.
Let's move forward. Let's look into the future. It is week 3. And with that in mind, let's do our Fantastic Four picks for week 3. All right. The music is queued up. What are the games that we're going to make predictions on?
All right, first up, we have a couple of surprising hot starts here early in the season. We have the LA Chargers at Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a Sunday 1 o'clock game. The LA Chargers have been good, but they've been known to collapse at times. The Steelers, I don't know if anybody was expecting them to start undefeated 2-0. Now, it is early, but can they continue it here with the Chargers coming into town, Rich?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, Jim Harbaugh, when he has a brand new team in the NFL, he has the ability to just revamp them overnight. I mean, he did it with the 49ers, and now he's doing it with the Chargers. And the Chargers put together, they look like a cohesive unit. I love the way that they're playing. The Steelers, while they have a good defense, I don't know. I still don't know if I should be believing in Justin Fields and the Russell Wilson situation. It's still a little too awkward. I don't know. There's something with that doesn't sit right with me yet. I don't know. Maybe give it some more time to develop. But for right now, I like Jim Harbaugh. I like the way he's been coaching this team. I like the way that they've been going to the run to take pressure off of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has been a much better quarterback with them relying on the run much more. Hey, Eagles, maybe you should keep an eye on that.
What a novel idea, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to go Chargers in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The Chargers have the talent, and now they have the coaching to go with it. So I don't foresee any reason why they shouldn't be able to keep that positivity moving forward. The Steelers are a little bit of a surprise here early on, but the quarterback position thing, like you pointed out, like I don't trust either of those guys.
Yeah.
So, as long as that's a question mark for me, I'm going to have to pick against them. It's the LA Chargers.
Yep.
Next up, we have two more early undefeated teams. The Houston Texans are traveling to Minnesota to face off against the Vikings. Houston getting off to a hot start to start the season after a fantastic season last year. Can they keep it going against the Vikings, who also have a surprisingly good start when, I don't know if they were really expected to compete as much in that division.
No, I gotta admit, yeah, Sam Darnold and the Vikings, yeah, they're proving everybody wrong. But I think the Texans are just a more complete team. They have more offensive weapons to use against the Vikings in this matchup. And I think C.J. Stroud I think he's going to get better. He not only is he just a good quarterback, he's getting better every week, I feel like. So I'm going to go Texans in this matchup.
Yeah, I think you used the correct word when you said complete, because it's not just the offense, which we knew is good, but that defense as well is really good. I just keep thinking back to that draft where they took two guys in the top 3 picks, and everyone was like, oh my God, that's crazy, like, to pull off something like that. But both of those guys hit. Like, it's crazy. Offensive and defensive rookies of the year. And I think they're going to keep up that trajectory. So I'm going with the Texans as well. Talk about a comeback story, though, turning that culture around in Houston.
Yeah.
So I like the story. But two stories that I don't like. A disappointing start for two supposedly very good teams. The Baltimore Ravens 0-2. Traveling to Dallas to face off against the 1-1 Cowboys. I know it's early on, but where the other teams in the Fantastic Four have been surprisingly hot to start off, these guys have been surprisingly cold. I don't think anybody was expecting these teams to start as poorly as they did. Rich, who's going to win this one? Who's desperate enough to win?
Well, the Ravens are the ones that are desperate because 0-2 is a bad start in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing. Baltimore, especially in that first game against the Chiefs, they played well. It was just a matter of they didn't get things right at the end, and of course the toe being,
the toe. I know. I picked the Ravens
luck
for that game, and I was a toe away from getting the pick right.
Yeah, just bad luck. Whereas Dallas, they kind of happened to get a weak Browns team in Week 1 to get the win, and then just showed that they could not stop the run in Week 2. They are so overhyped. They are so overrated. And the fact that this is essentially a pick'em on your sportsbook apps, I'm telling you right now, I'm going heavy on the Ravens. I think this is a smash spot here. Take the Ravens money line. If it's anything under a field goal to cover the point spread, take it. Well, I think this is a big bet situation. I'm going Ravens.
According to ESPN Bet, it's even moved since we placed ours. It's now at -1.
Yeah.
It's literally as slim a margin as possible.
I don't understand where the hype is coming from here for Dallas.
Yeah.
If I was the sports book, I would say Ravens -4.
To put it in perspective, right? So you look at the two games these teams have played. You're right. The Ravens lost by a touchdown. They could have won if it wasn't for a toe. And then they lost to the Raiders
in a little shocker, yep.
By 3 points.
Yep.
They're keeping games close. They're keeping it competitive. If one or two things goes their way. Meanwhile, 44-19.
Yeah.
That was Dallas's last game against the Saints.
The run.
And the Saints were not expected to be lighting teams up like that this year. So that's doubly surprising. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep. Smash spot.
Yeah. And to round things out, we have our very own hometown team, the Philadelphia Eagles, traveling to that Saints team that just put up 44 points on Dallas's vaunted D. Now, Dallas has players like Micah Parsons who can rush the passer and stop the run, whereas the Eagles do not. So,
Yes.
Rich, help.
Help?
Yes.
Yes, that's the correct way to phrase it. because unfortunately, yeah, this is a bad matchup at the wrong time at like a bad ebb in the season.
Red hot New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr never looking better. Alvin Kamara.
Derek Carr is secretly on an FU season.
Oh, he absolutely is.
He wants to show the Raiders they made a mistake in letting him go.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's early, but 3rd ranked offense, 7th ranked defense. Philadelphia, 30th in defense.
It's just a bad matchup. The Saints can run the ball all over you, and the Eagles just can't seem to get pressure on the quarterback or anybody in the backfield. So, yeah,
I think we both are going.
I think the Saints do take this one.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. It's probably going to be the Saints, and we're going to start the season 1-2.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the end of the world.
If we fall to 1-2, where's your hand in terms of closeness to the panic button?
Maybe like I don't know. Depends on how they lose too.
That's true.
Yeah.
If we pull a 44-19,
ooh,
he's slamming it with his fist.
That's not good. But I don't think the season's lost at all. No. But
it is early, like you said.
Also, by our predictions, that means Dallas is going to be 1-2 as well. Like, I think this is going to be a NFC least season.
I'm going to be playing a lot of video games on Sunday at 1 o'clock then.
All right, well, there you go. That's our fantastic 4 picks for week number 3 of the NFL season.
I find as I get older, I have less patience for the Eagles. Like when I was a kid, I would like cry at the NFC Championship losses and stuff like that. Now I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
Like
you got numb to it.
I've reached that point in my Philadelphia sports fan, like, age where I'm just like perpetually they're going to lose.
You got numb to it.
I got numb to it, yeah.
Yeah. So
it happens to all Philadelphia fans.
Yeah. But that's what makes you a Philadelphia fan is
true.
going through
It's true.
the tough losses, and it makes you a stronger person.
I think so. It numbs you to tragedy.
Yeah. You
can deal with
whatever.
anything. After you watch the Eagles, you can deal with anything.
Yes, exactly. So there you go. We're still Eagles fans through and through, but yeah, I don't think it looks
Gets
good.
harder every year. That's why you have the Crispy Noodle podcast.
We are therapy.
Yes, we are.
That's how we do this here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. We need to take a break after all that therapy, but don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news around the bend. When we return, this is the Crispy Noodle podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh. Ah, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir? Are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands over there.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. They even...
Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. All right, look, at least we had Democracy Manifest make us feel a little bit better.
That's true.
Yeah.
With succulent Chinese food and other stuff.
Yes, it's very, very important to enjoy the little wins that you get along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we are officially out of the sports funk that the Eagles put us in. And we are going to move forward now into the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, we are officially in entertainment entree mode, and we're going to start it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new TV and video games with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, first up in television, Agatha All Along hits Disney Plus this week, finally. It is a spin-off miniseries of WandaVision following the previous series villain Agatha Harkness as she seeks to regain her powers after losing them in WandaVision. Even though I think it's a little late to capitalize on the WandaVision hype, fans should still be in for a pretty, fun, spooky, witchy treat just in time for the beginning of fall and spooky season. And with the recent announcement that this is actually the second series in a planned trilogy of series with a Vision-specific miniseries to follow in 2026, Marvel fans will definitely want to check this out. So they're fully up to date and they get everything in the middle.
Yep.
And also because we're approaching the home stretch of Phase 5 in 2025.
Also, I think they've timed this out so that the last episode lands on Halloween.
Oh, that's fun.
So
I have to admit, I started kind of lukewarm towards it, but I've slowly been coming around to the idea of it. While I still think it's ultimately unnecessary to focus on such a minor character, I'll still be in it for the ride if it's a fun time. So
I think there's going to be more to it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring back Wanda.
Yeah.
Like
So-
they're
some
going to
way.
bring her back somehow.
Yeah. But we will find out with the first episode this week.
That's right. Check it out. Agatha All Along hitting Disney Plus. And in video games, The Plucky Squire comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Switch, and PC. But if you have PlayStation Plus, you get it for free, so there's no reason not to check it out. It's a new action-adventure game that follows a hero who is kicked out of their storybook by an evil force. You must then jump between the 2D world of the picture book and the 3D real world in order to ensure to go on a journey to ensure that the storybook has a happy ending. Players have to contend with combat, mini-games, puzzles, and platforming throughout the perspective jumping adventure. It has an 86 average rating right now, so it's turning out to be a creatively whimsical and solidly crafted game. So I'm actually pretty eager to check it out. It looks very, very cool and pretty fun too. So that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right, the Emmy Awards were this past weekend as well. I know they're a big deal. So, Mikey, where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, I think let's just give people just 1,000-foot view and not bury the lead here. The top winning shows, Shogun.
Yep. I know you want to mention your Shogun.
Yep, Shogun. Well, and the Bear as well. They led the pack with both total nominations and also cleaned up nicely, leading all shows with total wins. Shogun had 25 nominations, and they took home 18 awards. The Bear had 23 nominations and took home 11. Both of them claimed 4 quote-unquote major awards each. I mean, I love The Bear.
I love The Bear too.
One of my favorite shows, but Shogun was so amazing. Like the cinematography, the music, from what I could tell, the authenticity of it all. There was such amazing attention paid to the detail of it and the world building and just everything about it. Like the vibe that it created within its show was impeccable. Like there's like the period pieces and then it's whatever Shogun was. Like it was just incredible. So fully deserving of all of the recognition. And just a really compelling and interesting and very layered and complicated story. It doesn't really have like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not a very traditional like point A to B story, or like a very smooth arc. It's more character driven. It's more, like subterfuge and like trying to figure out like the wants and the needs of characters rather than just like I'm trying to get the MacGuffin, So it's a very layered, nuanced story is what I'm getting at, and very deserving of the awards recognition. But another major winner here, Baby Reindeer, ties Shogun and the Bear for major awards with 4 and comes in third for total wins with 6 as well. Now, I miss Baby Reindeer. Have you checked it out at all?
No, but I've heard this is the creepy story where someone was stalking somebody.
Yeah, it was. I think somebody recommended it to me, and I have it. Classic me. I have it in my list, and I've just never engaged with it at all.
I wanted to check it out, and I think Rachel got scared. Like it was like one of those things.
Well, it's spooky. It's getting to be spooky season, so now's the time.
But I think it's one of those things where you don't want to watch it before you go to bed because it's about somebody stalking somebody.
Yeah, and then you hear like a rustle in the bushes, and it's like it's not a squirrel, it's a murderer. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard to find time to hit a sweet spot to watch that show.
No, definitely. I think it is a limited series, though, right?
Yeah.
So I love limited series because they're just one and done. Like
right.
That's my bread and butter if I ever get around to watching any of them. Another show to keep an eye out for that surprised me, Hacks.
Yeah.
Had 3 major wins as well, rounding out the top of the shows with major wins. I have to plead complete ignorance. I know nothing about Hacks. It was not on my radar.
Yeah, apparently we gotta check this one out.
Yeah, and that's why I love checking out these award shows because, for as many Shoguns and the Bears where I'm like, hey, pay attention to this is going to be good, there's always 1 or 2 that just come out randomly that just you completely miss.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well then I gotta check this out then.
Right, exactly. So yeah, some definite must-watch TV for me coming up with Baby Reindeer and Hacks. Some other just basic facts to get out of the way. In terms of networks, FX, Netflix, and HBO Max led in total wins. FX had the most major wins with 9, mostly due to Shogun and The Bear, of course. And Netflix and HBO both tied with 6 major wins. So
FX having a resurgence.
Yeah,
with The Bear and Shogun.
They put on a really good year of TV.
It's funny, yeah, because I would say back when we were in college, that they had a heyday when it was like Rescue Me and Sons of Anarchy. It's like they always kind of have this like 1-2 punch when they really hit it.
Yeah, it was always, and I remember like AMC was always like number 1, and then FX was like right behind them.
Yeah.
Right when it was still like cable networks competing for the top spot, not streamers. AMC just, I don't know what happened. The Walking Dead happened is what happened.
Yeah.
AMC just fell apart. FX, though, quietly climbing up the ranks. They're like a premier destination now for dramatic TV.
Yeah.
Because I count The Bear as a drama, even though
Yeah.
it's listed as a comedy.
Yeah. Do you think
They took a dig at that during the ceremony?
Do you think there's they kind of so the shows submit that don't if I remember
Yes.
correctly, the shows submit themselves what they think that they are.
Yes.
Do you think they do that so that they know that they're going to win in comedy?
Potentially. But here's the thing. Though, is that there's
because the Bear is not a we both agree the Bear is not a comedy.
The Bear is not a comedy. Like there's like dark comedy, there's like black comedy, but it's not like you don't put that on like, oh, I'm gonna go watch like The Office or Arrested Development. Like that it's not the same thing. Like if you're not in the right mindset to watch The Bear, you're having a bad evening.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Like my fiance, she can't watch it. She's like, I can't watch it. It's too stressful. Like you would never say that about The Office. I can't watch The Office. It's too stressful.
If you said that about The Office, there's something wrong with you.
And I'm just saying that because I recently was rewatching The Office. But like, name a comedy where it's too stressful to watch. The fact that it's too stressful for people.
Maybe the British version. Maybe the one with Ricky Gervais. Because I know
maybe.
I know David Brent turns off a lot of people. But
he's a tough pill to swallow.
I love the UK Office though.
It is funny.
I could watch the UK Office over and over again.
But The Bear is definitely not that. I would argue, though, that I think they're legitimately submitting it there because they feel that it is, at the end of the day, supposed to be like a dysfunctional, dark comedy. Because it's not just to win awards, because there's other comedies in the category that do comedy better. Like Only Murders.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary, like they do comedy better. So I don't think The Bear's like, oh, we'll definitely win, because you look at the other shows, they're just as good, you know? So I don't know if they're submitting it just to win in that category because it doesn't seem like a surefire thing. Honestly, I feel like they would fare better in drama.
No,
even with Shogun.
No, then they got to go up against Shogun.
Oh, you know what? I just realized they're both FX.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of conspiracy here.
But FX also had 2 other comedies nominated. I don't know what the conspiracy is, but they lost comedy anyway to Hacks.
Okay. Maybe it doesn't hold water. Oh, well.
I don't know. There might be something there.
I like to think that there's a conspiracy.
Okay.
Take that. It makes the Emmys more interesting.
I mean, that's true. It does. But since we mentioned it, yeah, outstanding comedy series did in fact go to Hacks, and outstanding drama series, of course, did go to Shogun. Was there any specific shows that you wanted to call out, or any, big awards, or just anything that you wanted to talk about specifically?
I would like to just mention Last Week Tonight, because they've won so many Emmys.
It's almost a given at this point.
But do you know that like there's some behind the scenes stuff where like Time Warner isn't happy with?
I believe it.
With how Last Week Tonight has been doing their material.
That's it. See, this is the problem with big corporations like this. That is absolutely insane. It is well respected, well reviewed, accolades coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
I've never heard a negative thing about Last Week Tonight,
except
from the parent company.
Except from their employer,
which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Like, could you imagine any other job where, like, customers and colleagues and industry professionals are like, oh, my God, person A is the best employee
This is the
ever.
gold standard, yeah.
And their employer's like, I hate them.
No, they're not good. Yeah.
Like that, it's so bizarre to me.
Yeah. If you get a chance, go do a deep dive onto some of the things behind the scenes.
Do you think that means it could be in jeopardy? They'd
Well,
be so silly
they would-
because
right. The
John
problem-
Oliver would get snatched up so fast.
Right. The problem is that it would be a bad business move to outright get rid of them.
I think that's why he takes so many digs at them, because
Right.
I think he knows, like, hey, do you want a guaranteed Emmy every single year? Okay.
Yeah, Bill Maher's not doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense to Bill Maher. People.
I've never liked Bill Maher
People.
one.
I don't know. There was an impersonator, and ever since he did an impersonation of Bill Maher, Kyle Dunnigan, he does a great Bill Maher impression where he finishes like every sentence with like "PayPal." Like that is Bill Maher. You PayPal. It's almost a little bit Trump, a little bit. You people. Okay, people. Okay. He does that too. Okay.
That one. I don't know the people one, but the okay, yeah. I've never been a fan of Bill Maher though.
Okay.
I can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The government isn't going to fix your problems. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
He always. You people. Anyway. Yeah. So John Oliver is the only one pulling in Emmys for HBO, and
yeah.
But yeah, behind the scenes, there's all these kind of down low news articles that have been saying that Time Warner's secretly pissed off at John Oliver, and it's like, yo, he's like the best thing you've got going. Why would?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because you look at HBO in general, right? They drew the ire of everyone around for their comments during the various strikes, for their business practice of removing shows permanently from streaming as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
What else have they done? True Detective was kind of a miss. House of the Dragon is kind of a miss. The controversy with George R.R. Martin that we talked about last week. Like, they're striking out a lot. So, shut up and take the win.
Yeah.
They're hard to come by. See the Carolina Panthers. To bring it back around. They're not easy.
Do you want to be the Carolina Panthers Time
of television?
Warner?
No, you don't. All right, shut up and take the win.
Yeah.
But staying on the HBO topic, I did call out True Detective Night Country, but Jodie Foster did win for lead actress in a limited series, which, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I thought she was one of the few bright spots in that.
Correct.
And I enjoyed the series more than you did, though.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed at the end. But yeah, she was one of the bright spots.
Yeah,
you're right.
The end was weird, but Jodie Foster did her and I can't remember the other actress.
Yeah,
her partner. She the two of them. They were really good in that show. Anything else that you want to call out specifically from the awards? Any shows that you want to recommend, or just flowers you want to give?
No, that's pretty much it on my end. Do you have any other ones before we get to odd news?
No, other than people should absolutely go watch Shogun if they haven't. And for my part, I'm going to try to check out Baby Reindeer and Hacks. Got to do it now.
All right. Well, on that note, let's leave the entertainment entree and go to our final segment, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda de bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I've seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
Going to Germany in this one.
Ah, Germany. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Was ist das? Guten Tag.
There you go.
Guten Tag, Herr Liebig.
Yes.
Well, wait, you should be the one.
I don't know. I know.
Give me a German.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what.
Nein. I know 3 German phrases.
Was schnell.
There you go.
I only know that from Die Hard. That's what the terrorists scream at each other. war schnell, war schnell.
I can do the whole alphabet in German.
Really?
Yeah. So briefly, in middle school, I attended public school for 1 year. I learned, I don't know why, they did like, you do Spanish, German, and another language. So I know like the alphabet and like 3 phrases. Was ist das? Guten Tag. And actually 2. And then the alphabet. I'm not going to do the whole alphabet.
Okay.
But I could if you wanted me to. A, B, C, D, E, F, K, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, und Z.
All right, there you go. Mikey with the German.
Now, ask me to do it in Italian.
Look at
no
the
idea.
Look at the big brain on Mike.
It's huge.
There you go.
Anyway,
Well,
so we're
we
going
are-
to Germany.
We are going to Germany, but we're not going to talk about the brain.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about the heart.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
That's the most important organ in the odd news, other
Yes.
than the penis.
Well, yeah, it's very important to preface that, yes. But we're going to talk about a romantic relationship.
So it does involve both organs.
We're going to follow the case of 36-year-old Michelle Kopka.
Kopka. Is she related to Brooks Koepka?
No, this is not Kapka. No,
Are
this
you
is
sure?
this is Kopka. Different.
Kopka? I don't
Nope,
know.
Nope, different spelling.
Different accent on
Different accent, yeah. Kopka. 36-year-old Michelle Kopka. She is a warehouse worker from Germany.
Okay.
She says that for the last 9 years that she's been in a long romantic relationship with someone that she calls darling.
Someone or something? Because, oh no.
You already know where I'm going with this.
Is it like a forklift?
She
What else is in a warehouse? Is it a box?
She developed a relationship in 2014.
2014
with a Boeing 737.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
But we did this already, though.
It's another one.
Another one? Why?
And she says the whole plane.
Oh, not just a piece of it, the whole thing.
This is the whole thing.
But 2014?
Yes.
10 years, that's a long relationship.
Yeah.
That's a very committed. You said 2014.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe it happened at the end of 2014 because she says it's 9 years.
Okay.
Or
I don't know.
Or she doesn't know how to do math.
Maybe German math is different. So she loves
this
Boeing 737.
Yes.
Okay.
Her affection.
How did they meet?
They met at the warehouse, I guess.
At the warehouse?
Her affection for the aircraft led her to label it as the most beautifully built and attractive plane she had ever seen.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
So much so that she started to call it her darling.
There's no way. It's not. Do you have a picture of this thing? It's just an airplane. But also, I'm going to go full conspiracy theory. Put the tinfoil hat on. This is Boeing propaganda. Because haven't they been having problems?
Yes, that's
and
right.
now all of a sudden, here's this person from Germany. Germany is a pretty respected country. She goes, it's the most beautiful, most safest plane in the sky. Sure, Miss Boeing.
Unlike a man.
Unlike a man. They're not safe in the sky.
Right, they're not.
They can't fly at all. Stupid men.
Yeah, but this darling.
This guy.
I am cleared. I am A-okay.
That thing is flying. Oh, man.
Man, bear, or plane? She's choosing the plane.
She's choosing the plane. She's choosing the plane. What about a man and a bear on a plane? That's dangerous.
That's way too dangerous.
So she is quote unquote in love with the Boeing 737 as per the Boeing propaganda.
She says what particularly drew her to Darlene were
Is Darling a nickname or the name?
That's the name she's giving to her plane partner.
Oh my god! What if choosing something like Peter Plane?
No, it's Darling. What particularly drew her to Darlene were its winglets, which she found irresistible.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
That's her quote. That's a little weird. It's so irresistible.
Do you know what the winglet is? I looked it up. It's the little part at the end of the wing that goes up.
Whoosh.
It goes up like that.
Ooh. That means it's bone time.
I've got balls of steel.
You know what she's saying? She's going, I've had a lot of men and none of them have stayed that hard and that straight for that long.
I've got balls of steel.
You're right. Planes are objectively better than men.
Yeah. There you go.
She's got a point.
Yeah, man.
That Boeing is giving her wings.
Yeah, it is.
Not Red Bull.
No. Who needs Red Bull? We got
The
this
winglets.
Got this Boeing 737 over here.
Oh my God! So was she? I still want to know how they met. Did they both create like a dating profile? Did they just like meet cute? They bumped into each other at the warehouse cafeteria.
I guess they just meet at work. Yeah,
they just meet at work. It was love at first sight.
She says, "Oh my God,
it's about to get way dumber, isn't it?"
This is a quote.
Okay.
She says, "When I touch Darlene's wings, I get immediately sweaty and I get excited."
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Oh my!
That makes me so uncomfortable. But how is she touching the wings? They're up.
Does she get to climb on the plane? Like, does she get a ladder?
How is she allowed this close to the plane?
Does she get a forklift or something? Yeah, how do you?
She goes up in the little scissor lift, and she's like, the wing.
Oh, Bob, I gotta stay here for 5 minutes, please. I'm taking my break right here.
I saw some winglets.
Well,
so bizarre.
I know this part's. This part, I know I shouldn't be making fun of it, but. She
so worried.
She talked to her therapist about it, and she was officially diagnosed with objectophilia, which is a condition in which individuals form emotional and romantic bonds with inanimate objects. God. She says, quote, "At first I thought I was crazy, but then I found out I am just an objectophile. People can be very diverse."
Yup. I don't know what else to say. What can you say? Is that cannot be acknowledged by the DSM-5?
Yes, look it up. Put it up. Let's see if I can't believe you pulled that out of your butt. The DSM-5.
I technically have a minor in psychology.
Oh, look at you. Look at the big brain on Mike.
Psychiatry.org.
Yeah, look it up on Google.
Hold on, wait. DSM-5 paraphilic disorders.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
I want like a list. Why
Hold
don't they
on.
just give me a list?
While you're searching that,
Yeah.
I got to read another quote here. For Michelle, her love for Darlene was akin to a traditional romantic relationship. She even states that we cuddled and fell asleep together.
No, you didn't. I don't know why that's the thing to set me off, but planes can't fall asleep.
What, is it just the lights going down?
The turbines are like spinning down. She's like, that's right. Calm down. Sleep with me. No. Stop it. That's weird.
Oh, my God.
I should be accepting of people's unique things.
We cuddle and fall asleep together. It's a freaking airplane.
They can't sleep.
Yeah, unless you just turn all the lights off. That's the only thing that counts as far as I'm concerned. So, she says that, quote, at one point she even entertained the idea of marrying the plane and living with it in a hangar. She wants to live in a hangar at this rate.
You're going to buy a house together?
No, they're going to buy a hangar. It's not a house. It's going to buy a hangar. And, we should have our little kitchenette over there on the side. It'll be fine. She says that, quote, it's a special kind of love that doesn't hurt anybody. So, do you have any answers over there?
The DSM-5 does recognize paraphilic disorders, which is a category of, defined in the DSM-4, 4, so not the most recent one. Recurrent, intense, sexually arousing fantasies.
The evidence has been falsified.
Sorry, it's not
Yes,
DSM-5.
no, it's not DSM-5.
Sorry.
No.
The evidence has been falsified.
Here's what the falsified evidence says. It says recurrent, intense, sexually arousing fantasies, sexual urges, or behaviors generally involving 1, non-human objects, 2, the suffering or humiliation of oneself or one's partner, or 3, children or other non-consenting persons that occur over a period of at least 6 months.
Oh, good for you.
So
All right, I have
I don't
no
know.
idea.
I don't know. If you search objectophilia, that's what comes up. It comes with paraphilic disorders. I feel like people are just taking advantage of this, and they're just sticking a word and then philia together. I'm like, oh, I'm water bottle philia. I'm cloud philia. Like that. I don't think it. I want to say it doesn't work that way, but
I think it does if you're willing to take your clothes off on top of the plane.
Something just came over me, and I took my clothes off.
Woo!
I'm gonna stop searching because this is a dangerous rabbit hole.
All right. Well, I don't know if you noticed during this whole story, but I've been referring to this in the past.
No.
Well, unfortunately,
no.
there is difficulties with logistical limitations with interacting
plane
with
has
the airplane.
ED.
No.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
It is. It was. Couldn't get its winglets up anymore. The rudders are just stuck in the downward position. Which I guess our planes work because when they're down, that's what creates the lift. So maybe they're stuck in the up position.
All right. Well,
what part of the plane would she bone?
I think it's the winglets. I guess she loves those winglets. That's what she said was irresistible.
I feel like they're probably pretty big, but I guess some people can fit a machine gun up there.
That's right. We do have that.
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is past tense. I'm assuming that they
Yes.
had to go their separate ways.
So, yes, there's logistical limitations of interacting with the airplane.
Yeah.
She could only be close to the Boeing when she was flying or on rare occasions when she had direct access to it in a hangar. She said that these
Why
constraints...
does that sound so... like, I don't know why that sounds so devious.
Look, I got...
direct access to the plane.
Yes.
When it's locked in the hangar, it can't defend itself.
It's my personal hangar time. Don't you mess with it.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
She says that these constraints made the relationship complicated at times.
Or, the fact that it's an airplane.
Yeah.
It was the long distance. It wasn't the fact that it was an airplane.
Yeah, with the long distance.
Right.
Yeah. She just can't handle a long distance relationship.
No, apparently
Sorry.
not.
Yeah.
Not at 30,000 feet.
Well, despite the breakup, Kopka shared that the separation was peaceful.
Shut
and
up.
that she and the airplane will remain friends, according to the German newspaper Bild.
Are they going to write each other? Are they going to visit? They're going to get together for the holidays?
Actually,
they're friendly. It was an amicable breakup. Shut up. I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad. So I guess she had to break up with the airplane. Did she take it out to a nice restaurant? And give
It's not you, it's me.
Right, it's not you, it's me. Right. I just can't stay 30,000 feet in the air.
I can't handle a long distance relationship. I'm sorry.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
That was Darling's response to Kapka.
Well, she says that they are still going to be good friends.
Of course, yeah.
And she's
They're
still
gonna get together occasionally. Are they friends with benefits? She gets free air miles. Like, this is like. I feel like every couple of months I say it's peak stupidity, and then we we discover, there's more peaks to the mountain.
Oh, yes.
It was just cloud cover. I couldn't see.
There's no limit.
There's no limit to this.
Yes.
To reaching this summit. The fact, two things in this story really sent me over the edge, though. The fact that she's like, we cuddle and fall asleep, planes can't sleep, And two, the fact that she's like the breakup was friendly and amicable. Like it was like an actual breakup. It's an airplane.
Yes.
It can't sleep and it doesn't have feelings. You can't break up with it. You're just not going to fly on that airplane anymore.
The lights just blinked and turned off.
Yeah.
Well, fine. If you're not going to talk to me,
right? Don't taxi away from me.
Get back here right now.
Oh, so typical, darling. Just taking off.
Always when I'm in the middle of a conversation.
That's one thing that planes and men have in common. They can't communicate. Our plane's more or less open with their feelings. I want to roll tonight.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately for the Boeing, I don't even remember what the name. Boeing 737, Darling. They are and Michelle.
This is weird Boeing propaganda.
Kopka. They're officially broken up and they're both on the market.
It's like Boeing fanfic.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
So here's actually an actual serious question.
Okay.
Where do you go after this? Does Michelle Kopka go on like OkCupid and like be like my last relationship was an airplane?
Well, what an opening line. What an opening line, though. It does get awkward when you talk about previous relationships, though. So bizarre.
Does she go have a date with a taxi next? Or like
yeah, right. What's next?
What's the next step?
Or do you stay within the world of like aeronautics? Do you do like one of the
rocket ship? Is that next?
Rocket ship or
is she gonna go to NASA?
Maybe you know what it was is that Darling was a little too big and egotistical. She's looking for something a bit more humble, like a prop plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Single engine.
How about a car?
Car, maybe.
You always stay on the ground.
Exactly. They're very grounded.
Very grounded.
Very grounded, very solid. They like being on all fours.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Wow.
She can learn how to drive stick shift.
Wow.
I don't. It's not real. It's not. You can't love an airplane. You can love whoever you want, but it can't be an airplane. They're too big, and they fly, and we don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just a man's not gonna measure up to that. Sorry. Nope. Take the plane.
Take the plane. Oh, you want them to take the plane?
Yeah. Look, as a dude, we're not gonna compete with that.
I can't fly.
Yeah, I can't fly, and the
winglets.
winglet.
I don't. There's only so much we can do.
Yeah, the winglet is not going to be irresistible over here.
No. No.
Like I don't know what else you can do.
We're very limited. We're bound by our mortal constraints.
Whew.
So.
And there you go, folks. That's what we have for you.
Good old-fashioned airplane love.
Yeah.
Here in the
And
odd
this was a
news.
full-blown airplane.
Right, not just a part of it.
The last time we had a woman that was in love with part of an airplane.
It was like scrap metal from the plane.
Yeah.
Which is what happens to Darling because it's a Boeing 737.
So, one more question.
Yeah.
What do you think this says about the current state of men, that women are willing to just have a 9-year relationship with an airplane?
We already lost the Bears.
Yeah.
And then we lost the planes.
Yes.
So.
And Ferris wheels.
And Ferris wheels. There's really.
And fences.
And fences.
And from the
cars.
title screen. Yeah. That woman in the top right corner, she loved that fence.
There was a lady with a car as well.
Yeah.
So
we lost.
Yeah. I think men just they just lose.
So you get nothing.
Yeah.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah. That's just the way it happens, you know?
So, there you go, folks. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. Just like you said, Mike, you think every week is... You think we've hit the bottom of the barrel?
Nope. It still goes further. You can punch through the bottom of the barrel and start digging.
Yes. And then there's going to be another barrel.
Right? A buried barrel.
You bury through that, and then there's another hole.
Oh, my gosh. So many. And then that's where you find men.
Yes. And then you punch a dude.
Right.
And then there's another barrel.
There's another barrel.
And just keep going.
down and down.
That's the odd news in a nutshell.
Amazing.
But there you go.
That's the show.
That's our show. Sports, entertainment, and odd news. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get every episode of the Crispy Noodle podcast sent to you. 2 main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get the video podcast sent straight to your YouTube account every week. Second way of doing it is going on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify. You can watch us there, or you can put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio podcast. And if you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you, so we can be giving you the news on your commute, or if you just want to drive and enjoy yourself in the car because you're fed up with men. There you go. You can take us on the go.
Make sure you don't drive off the road, though, while you're enjoying yourself.
Or pull over the side of the road and enjoy yourself with the car.
Take a little bit of personal time.
Yeah. Or if you're with the plane, pull in the hangar.
Right.
Don't do it in the air.
No, don't do that. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter or Instagram and let us know what's happening. If you give us a topic that you want us to talk about on next week's episode, we'll give you a sausage shout out. Make sure odd news suggestions go to me so that Mikey can't see it. But for right now, we got to wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vision salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.